Hi, my name is Hwang, and I'm co-founder and CEO of DamoGO. I'm a Korean American that's been doing business with Korea for the last 13 years. I've been living here for 5.5 years. Basically, DamoGO is a mobile app. We help to reduce food waste. I had a personal interest because I saw so much waste of perfectly good food throughout my 13 years in the food industry. Lots of food that shouldn't be going to waste. I was part of that. I didn't want to waste the food, but I had no other choice. And there's lots of companies and restaurants and bakeries that's doing this. So basically, restaurants, bakeries, and grocery stores, at the end of the day, they have food that they did not sell. It went unsold. It's perfectly good food, and typically it goes to waste in the garbage bin because they can't sell it. So what we do is we partner with these stores, and instead of them throwing away this food, they'll upload it to our app, and it's half price, and anybody can purchase it and prevent it from going to waste. This is just the beginning of what we're trying to do. We'll be adding on new features to reduce food waste across the entire food industry. We started here in Korea last year, and we're just launching in Indonesia next week. We had a project for the coronavirus in Indonesia. We worked with, we had citizens upload food as a donation. We would go pick it up and we would redistribute it to the healthcare workers fighting COVID on the front lines. We were able to feed literally thousands. We did that for about a month and a half, and then we're adding a new feature working with the city of Yogyakarta, which is where our office is based. And what we're going to do is encourage citizens to share any extra resources, such as hand sanitizers, masks, and gloves, and also extra food with their neighbors. So people that don't have enough, they can easily and efficiently be able to share this. And we're going to have this as a permanent feature, even post-COVID, because this is something that citizens can use and help each other with. So again, we aim to be a one-stop shop app where people can really reduce anything, not just food, but mostly food, and give it a second chance instead of going to waste. So I've been in the startup scene for about 3.5, 4 years here in Korea. It's different from where I'm from in the States. The Korean culture, business culture is very different. One thing is, the networking is not there yet, although it's growing. Where I'm from in the States, there's a lot of networking events and a lot of networking people meet each other. Here it's not as big, but it's growing. And another thing is, if you do have something really good as a startup and people start taking onto it, it can catch on and grow like wildfire really quickly. On the other side, it's also people, if you do have something good, people can tend to copy it and try to replicate your success. The startup community here has really grown over the last 3 years. And 3 years ago, people did not know what a startup was here in Korea. It was a word that was not familiar. Now, 3 years later, everyone knows what a startup is. Everyone's trying to do it. There is so much support from private sector and public sector. There's a lot of government grants. There are a lot of the big companies and medium-sized companies that are getting into startups. They have venture arms. They have creative accelerators. And it's not just for native Koreans, it's also for foreigners and English speakers. There's a huge community of English speakers and foreigners in the startup world here, and there's also a lot of support. And this support also comes from Seoul City and Korea, the Korean government. There's support just for foreigners, for startups. And there's a lot of events for foreigners as well, a lot of events where just for startups, and the support's there, the ecosystem's there. There's tons of mentors. There's tons of access to find partners and co-founders. So I think it's a really good time for New Zealanders to either come here to do business or collaborate or do startups here. And another reason being is because now the Korean government and startups are looking overseas as well to expand and do partnerships. So it's a really good time, and the opportunities are really endless.